my name is Allison. I'm the Programs Outreach and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Backyard Science. Today we are going to be talking about the cute little critters known as the opossums. And the reason that we are going to be talking about opossums today is because I recently found one at my mom's house. So as you all know, I like to do backyard science videos about topics that I have seen in my actual backyard. And a few weeks ago, I was visiting my mom and we were walking the dogs when we found a baby opossum on the sidewalk. And this little guy had obviously fallen off of his mom and was just sitting on the sidewalk, totally exposed. At first, we thought that he was dead, but then we saw him moving. So I very quickly ran home and got a shoebox and some old rags, bundled him up nice in the shoebox and the rags, and took him to a wildlife center in San Jose where they could care for him. Now, I did some research before I moved the little guy, and online it did say that if a baby opossum that you find is more than 7 inches long, not including its tail, you should just leave them where they are because they are old enough to fend for themselves. But if they are smaller than that, then they probably have been abandoned by their mom and should be taken into a rescue center. All of this made me want to do some more research on opossums, so I decided to do today's episode on them. A lot of people think that they are kind of pesty critters and a little ugly. I personally think that they are very cute, and I found out while doing research for this video that they are actually very helpful. Opossums eat a lot of bugs and different critters that can be considered pests. For instance, one thing that they do is they eat snails but leave plants alone, so they are good for gardens. They also eat rotting fruit, which helps to keep other pests away from your garden and your yard. So if you see an opossum, just make sure that you leave them alone and let them be and give them their space. Opossums are one of the oldest living mammals on Earth. They are between 70 and 80 million years old. They are in the classification of marsupials, and they are actually the only marsupials found in North America. Other marsupials include kangaroos, and marsupials are distinguished by the pouch that the mothers have to carry around their young. The name opossum comes from the Algonquin word opossum, which means white animal. Opossums live in many different types of habitats, farmlands, woodlands, and even in some neighborhoods. They are ground dwellers and often live in burrows and dens that have been abandoned by other animals, but they are also very good climbers. Opossums have 50 teeth, which is more than any other North American land mammal. And one of the things that they do to scare away predators is to show all of those teeth. They can open their mouths very wide and show off all of their teeth, which would be very scary. An opossum's tail is designed to grab things, and this is called a prehensile tail. And a lot of times you'll see images of opossums hanging upside down from a tree. This isn't really what they do. Their tails are used more for balance. You might have heard of the term playing possum, which is a phrase for playing dead. And that is something that opossums do when they are trying to defend themselves from predators. But it's more than just faking that they're dead and laying very still. Their bodies actually release a chemical which makes their muscles tighten up. And this is just one of the ways that they fend off predators. Another is, like I said, they have the very sharp teeth that they show off, and they can also produce a lot of drool and saliva to make themselves look sick and thus unappetizing. As I mentioned, I think opossums are very cute, and here is a picture that I think showcases that. For this video, I used 2 books from our collection. One was called Wild America Opossum by Lee Jacobs, and the other was Animals That Live in the Forest, Opossums, and this was by Joanne Early Mackin. These books are available for checkout from your local MCFL branch. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you learned something about opossums, and at the end of this video, I will be putting up a slide about rescue centers in Monterey County where you can take animals that you find in your backyard that are in need of more assistance. Always be careful when you are approaching or handling a wild animal. Like I said, I could tell that this little baby was in distress, and when I picked him up, I made sure that I had gloves on and was using a rag to protect myself to make sure that I wasn't going to get bitten. So you want to make sure that you're taking proper precautions to maintain your safety while also helping out the animals in your area. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time on Backyard Science. Bye-bye, everyone.